with the top news across the campus of Marshall University in the W. Page Pitt School of Journalism and Mass Communications, JMC TV presents MU Report.
Hello and thanks for joining us for this edition of MU Report Spring 2024. I'm Austin Johnson.
And I'm Brea Smith. MU Report is a student-produced newscast of the W. Page Pitt School of Journalism and Mass Communication at Marshall University, and we create content within an organization called JMC TV. You can catch this broadcast anytime on our YouTube. First up, our lead story.
Senate Bill 10 and the changes that come with it are fast approaching the Marshall campus. The bill will officially go into effect on July 1st. Joseph DeCristofero's contribution to the show is that many students are worried about what may come with the passing of the bill.
Senate Bill 10 has been in the public eye recently due to its imminent arrival to the Marshall campus. Despite opposition from the state's two prominent universities, Senate Bill 10 sailed through the Senate and House of Delegates.
I was actually at the Capitol the day that they passed it, and I listened to the House. And they weren't considering students that have been assaulted or students that have been victims of sexual assault. There was only one delegate who talked about it at all, and I don't think that our lawmakers actually thought about the full spectrum of students that could be hurt and the implications of what it means to have guns on campus.
The thought of anyone being able to bring a firearm onto campus has left many parts of the Marshall community concerned for their well-being and the safety of those students around them.
Also, as a minority student, I'm overall opposed to it. Marshall has East Hall that has the Center for African American Students, International Students, and LGBTQ+ students all in one spot. So it puts students like that at more of a risk.
I can usually talk my way out of situations and avoid arguments, but again, I could always get caught in the crossfire.
The university has several resources online for students to check out regarding any questions related to campus carry. Joseph DeCristofero, MU Report.
As Marshall students make their way back to campus after spring break, some students and community members may have been seeing smoke filling the sky. The smoke came from a house fire on Buffington Ave, which is located behind the Commons residence halls. The fire then spread to another house beside the initial house.
At that point, I just immediately turned back, went and grabbed my kids and ran out the house, and then I just kind of stood and watched as it crept over to mine.
One person was taken to the hospital as EMS arrived, and some power lines were damaged. Thankfully, Marshall Police and the Huntington Fire Department arrived on the scene quickly and prevented the second house from burning down.
People who lived there before kind of left it in abandoned state while they were living there. There were multiple times that I would come out and there would be a extension cord reached across to the outlet in front of my house.
The actual cause of the fire is still under investigation in the main house. It's going to be a total loss. There's damage throughout the entire first floor. At this point, that's about as far as I made it in the investigation.
The condition of the person taken to the hospital is still unknown. The cause of the fire is still under investigation.
As student government elections approach, the current administration is working on a new goal. As Luke Hamilton reports, food insecurity is on the chopping block.
You never really understand how unfortunate some people have it in terms of just like access to resources.
The Marshall Food Pantry is expanding with the help of Student Body President Walker Tatum and Vice President Kalia Yang. Yang says that the idea for the expansion stemmed from the size of the space and students who lack resources.
Currently, it is only a small space, and we want to expand it to about 3,000 square feet. And this includes moving the thrift store, which is currently in Holderby.
With the addition of the thrift store, Tatum says it will make the space more student-friendly.
But more of like a one-stop shop convenience store that's open for longer hours so that students can take advantage of it whenever they feel the need.
Food insecurity was also on the minds of student government officials when crafting the expansion plan.
And so we found that a lot of students are having only 6 to 10 meals a week, which is not good.
The pantry's student manager says that she's excited about the improvements after working closely with Marshall's student leaders.
We have the office space that we're in now, and then there's the shopping room in the other space. So we're going to have that width all the way back in the building. Right now I've got all my deep freezers are full. My other freezer's totally full. And there's so much more that I want to get that I know we'll use. But with oh my goodness, it's going to be so much better. It's going to be fantastic.
Marshall's student government will continue to fight food insecurity on campus as it waits for the Hunger-Free Campus Act to make its way through the West Virginia legislature.
At the beginning of spring break, the Marshall women's basketball team held a watch party at Marshall's Student Center for the D1 Women's Basketball Tournament selection show. It was revealed that Marshall would receive a number 13 seed and face the number 4 seeded Virginia Tech in the first round of the tournament. A key player for Marshall spoke with the student reporter John Bogus and said the team was very excited for this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Oh, it means everything. It's what you work for all year, all preseason, to have this kind of opportunity, and not everyone gets to experience it. So we're not taking it for granted, and now it's kind of time to lock in on our opponent and get the scout going on them.
Marshall would fall in the first round to Virginia Tech, 92-49, but had a successful season overall with many accomplishments.
The general election is gearing up, and so are students' opinions. Students on Marshall's campus are weighing in on the possible rematch of Donald Trump and Joe Biden.
The next general election is months away, and a number of Marshall students on the Huntington campus are divided. One thing in common with some was the question of violence in a Donald Trump victory.
Threats of violence or rioting. Last time it felt like a very turbulent time for the country.
He doesn't stand for the Constitution at all. He just wants to be in power, and he wants what he wants.
To me, he shows signs of misogyny and racism.
We've had this happen before, and I feel like we're just not learning as a society.
Despite aiming not to vote for either candidate, Marshall student Mackenzie Knight says an age requirement should be mandatory to be President of the United States.
There should be a cutoff for age. They're just a little bit too old for me. I also don't agree with the voting for the lesser of two evils though. So I'm not going to vote for someone that I don't like just because I don't like their opponent. So that's why.
A number of students told MU Report they are worried of potential violence arising in a Donald Trump victory. But despite the election just months away, many students on Marshall's campus say they are in the dark or undereducated on the potential rematch of Donald Trump and Joe Biden.
Definitely not going to vote for Donald Trump. I'm not sure about Joe Biden, but I'll see about maybe another Democratic candidate.
I also think we're overlooking a lot of potentially good candidates.
Regardless of what happens, is there going to be some big national event that causes mass violence towards others?
Austin Johnson, MU Report.
It has been 1 year since Marshall University made the decision to cancel the school's subscription to Grammarly Premium. Some students miss it, and other students didn't even realize it was gone. Grammarly is an AI-powered writing assistant that helps users improve their grammar, punctuation, style, and overall clarity in their written communication. There is a free version and a paid version.
Yeah, I didn't know that Marshall had a paid version. If I'd known that, I would have been using it. I've been using the free version this whole time. Use it for everything I write. So yeah, I would like to use the nicer version of it.
On March 31st, 2023, Marshall University's IT department said, unfortunately, due to lack of faculty, staff, and student usage of this service, Marshall University will be discontinuing the Grammarly subscription by May 31st, 2023.
Being a journalism major, having the advanced version made it a lot easier for me to focus on the professional side of my writing.
There's a mixed reaction on campus to Marshall taking away Grammarly Premium. Some didn't realize it was offered to students, others can feel their grades slipping. Brea Smith, MU Report.
Recently, Marshall University and the surrounding area has turned into a construction zone. Laidley Hall was torn down during spring break, and construction crews have been filling in potholes with warmer temperatures ahead. University President Brad Smith says new construction is not the first change that needs to be made.
We're going to take care of the house, which means deferred maintenance, take care of the buildings we already have, stop trying to go build a bunch of new stuff. And so we rolled out community cares, where we have volunteers in the community come in the spring and help us do landscaping and power washing and painting, and it's just amazing what we get done.
The list of improvements long, but Smith says it's all part of the plan.
So you are going to see Holderby coming down. You're going to see improvements in the wayfinding and the signage around campus. You're going to see roofs going on the buildings that leak. You're going to see new HVAC systems, air conditioning, so our College of Science doesn't get super hot in the chemistry lab. All those things are underway, and we called it Project Shock and Awe because we got them shovel ready, and as soon as they transferred the money from the state to us, we got busy.
Smith was able to squeeze $21 million out of the state for a deferred maintenance. The most Marshall ever received in 1 year was about $1 million. That is all the time we have for this edition of MU Report. Our director is Emma Gallus and our executive producer is Morgan Pemberton. Our newscast content is generated by us, students in the W. Page Pitt School of Journalism and Mass Communications.
MU Report is a television lab, and we are glad you're watching. You can always catch this newscast on YouTube, and be sure to follow us on Instagram at JMC_TV. I'm Brea Smith.
And I'm Austin Johnson.